Okay, we're back. This is Techmath2. We are looking at 10.10. And we're looking at number 91. 20. R is 20. The angle is 80 degrees for polar coordinates. 2, 30 degrees. And they want us to divide. And so just like, let's do a quick reminder, when we multiplied, we took the numbers out front times each other and then added up the angles. What we're going to do to divide is divide the numbers out front. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. And then subtract the angles. 80 minus 30 is 50. And that's it. Done. 10 and 50. So now, don't freak out if it ends up 260 and 7 angle 100. Remember, this is the notation for polar coordinates when we're working with imaginary numbers. So complex numbers or imaginary numbers, J and real number system is here. So real numbers are on the x-axis, imaginary numbers are on the y-axis, and so when you're working with that, this is what the polar coordinates look like. In the past, the polar coordinates, like chapter 2, just look like this. You just wrote it like that, and that was it. And so this is now the short, whenever you see this shorthand, you know we're working the imaginary numbers, okay? So we divide, we get 6, 60 minus 100. Now be careful, that is negative 40. And you can just leave it like that. If they say only positive degrees, well then you're going back to like chapter 1, and remember negative 40 means clockwise. And so if you wanted to go counterclockwise, how we normally do in standard form, that would be 320 degrees. And so 6, 320 is the same polar coordinate. Okay? So either one. All right, so let's look at 1011. Applied problems when it comes to this. Let's look at number 100. And they just want me to divide. They just gave me basically context. It's just a division problem. Just what we just did. It's just going to be, there's going to be decimal answers is all. And they did give me some context as to when we do this. Sorry, I'm used to not getting complex numbers. Okay, so they just want me to divide that to get z sub t in polar form. We divide, so round the lengths to tenths, and yeah, it's just a formula: z1 times z2 over z1 plus z2. And we simplified it a little bit, and we're just going to give them the answer. So 1200 divided by 67.7 rounded to tenths is 17.7, and 70 minus 37 is 33 degrees. And that's it. And that would be in ohms, apparently. This is for those of you going into electricity. An AC parallel circuit with branch impedances Z1 and Z2 in ohms. The total impedance in ohms is given by that formula. Find Z sub T. All right, cool. So some of you will be actually applying this in the real world. Awesome, awesome. Let's look at non-real solutions in equations like 105 on 1012. So this goes back to the abstract, like algebra. So if I'm solving this, we isolate the variable and then take the square root. But now I'm taking the square root of a negative number. Whenever that happens, when you have an even root and a negative inside, you replace it with I squared or J squared. And so plus or minus J would be the answer there. They likely only talk about, oh no, they did both of them. Yay for them. Plus or minus J. Okay, cool. All right. Awesome, awesome. Then that is it for those sections. We will be doing one on the review that's a little intense. That involves this this formula again. But they want the answer back in like rectangular form. So they, instead of giving it in polar form like this, they give it in rectangular form. You know, you combine the things that you can combine, and then you got to put it back into polar. So look for that on the review.